Good evening. This is Owen Quinn in our our actual January. Happy New Year to everybody working in your community, the United Way show. And as I said, it's the first show of 2019. Hard to believe we put 2018 to bed. The holidays are over. They were like a blur. And now we're into 2019. So happy New Year to everyone out there listening in Cable 5. Again, this is the Working in Your Community, the United Way show of Northwest Connecticut. It's brought to you by Channel 1 Productions. Thank you, Teresa, for producing this show. And you might wonder where we are. Well, before you go to that, let's do a little recap on the end of the year. As you know, we finished the 2018 campaign, and that was managed by the chairperson of that campaign, which was Carla Dubois of People's United Bank. And she's the district manager of all the People Banks that are located in Northwest Connecticut. And they are located in the Stop and Shop stores in Torrington, 2 of them in Torrington, 1 in Winsted, 1 in Canaan, and 1 in Litchfield. And we want to thank Carla for being the 2018 campaign. She set an aggressive goal of $775,000 as we closed the end of January for those last minute people seeking donations to provide for their CPA or their tax accountant. We're standing now at about 85% of goal. So as of last count, that was just a little bit north of $660,000, which is good news. And it's good news because this is the time when we will be beginning the phases of starting next year's campaign. So John Seagrave is next year's campaign chairperson. He has chosen Anita Rosa to be the vice chair. And we'll be monitoring and listening, and John will be mentoring her as she goes through the year. We're beginning to meet already, so John didn't miss a beat. I think we met on the 2nd or 3rd of January, 8 o'clock in my office to start the beginnings of an analysis of last year's campaign and what we're going to do this year to make that campaign even better. So John is off to a real quick start. He's planning his themes, his events, and he has hit the road running. And John Seagrave is with Barron Financial. So as you're thinking about 2019, you're thinking about the stock market, and we had a little jitters there at the end of 2018. Seek John out and Barron Financial. They can help you out. They can help you with a lot of the planning. So that's kind of where we were at the end of last year. But I wanted to also say that we have a Warm the Children program that we run. It was started by Max Stewart. I think I talked about it the last show. Max Stewart was the publisher of the Register Citizen here in Torrington. And he drove into Torrington one morning and saw that there were a number of Torrington kids waiting for the bus. And they didn't have proper hats and gloves and winter clothes and all the winter apparel that is so important. And unlike other programs, he decided that we would fundraise, do some advertising in the local newspapers, and people send in their donations. And each kid gets, I believe it's $80 for kids over 5 and $40 to $60 for kids that are under 5. And this is brand new coats. And this year, we had a cooperative venture between the United Way of Northwest Connecticut, which manages the money and makes the deposits. And then we work with Deirdre DeCara of Fish, who has contacted people like Mo Hebert from Friendly Hands, worked with the Salvation Army in Torrington and Winsted, worked with the area daycares, and puts out a distress call that says, give us the most needy families in your organization. And they give us the names. And then we've had a crew from Litchfield Bangor, Litchfield Bancorp brings some shoppers. And that was a really great thing for Litchfield Bancorp to have a crew of shoppers that were available. And they go to Walmart, the top of the hill, and they pick out clothing for these kids. And I would have to say that during the holiday season, from Thanksgiving to the Christmas, Hanukkah break, that we raised over $7,000, and we're still calculating where we are on the expense side of that. But thank you to Northwest Connecticut. Thank you for the subscribers of the Register Citizen and Lakeville Journal and people that have given us some ad space. Thank you for that and making a donation and making those kids have really safe, new, warm clothing for the winter months. And so that was a great thing that took place. So we'll give you more on that. But right now we're in the United Way world. We're setting up for our annual audit. Bob King has already made arrangements to come in and take a look. Citizen review panels are being assembled. All the agencies have submitted their request for 2019. The Citizen Review Panel are independent individuals within the community that sit on a panel, that listen to the execs talk about the programs that they want to run for the next year. They analyze it. They make sure that they are credible and they are good stewards of the money. And they make a convincing argument that the programs that they're going to run are needed and that they are going to be well run and efficiently maintained, so that when you make your donation to the United Way of Northwest Connecticut, you know that we are selecting quality agencies to run quality programs right here in Northwest Connecticut. And you know, I'm going to take a little time here just for one thing and say a little shout out, because not everyone knows the agencies that we deal with. And the United Way of Northwest Connecticut really is very present, hyper-local in 26 communities right here in Northwest Connecticut. And we have 25 agencies that run over 30 programs, closer to 35 programs right here. And they're going to be evaluated by the Citizen Review Panel. So that is going to get done in pretty short order. I'm thinking about the timetable will be the end of February. So the United Way is going to have its annual meeting on the 30th at Chatterley's. That will be a place where we evaluate what we did last year, where we're going. People that did outstanding contributions, who in the business community really stepped up their game, who is kind of a rookie player, somebody that joined the United Way family, and they showed themselves to be an exceptional person in their first year. And we look for volunteerism. As you know, United Way is heavily dependent on volunteers, and we look for a volunteer of the year. So all that is coming up on January 30th. And again, we are evaluating the programs that have come in so far, and we are getting ready to select a citizen review panel that will evaluate all the programs run by the United Way in 2019. So if you are looking for volunteer opportunities, a citizen review panel might be something that you want to do. Maybe you're a banker, a small business owner, maybe you're a lawyer, maybe you're looking for, you're at a home, stay-at-home mom, maybe you're a student that has some time. We're always looking for fresh minds to come in and listen and read the proposals and make informed decisions. So that's a great opportunity for people looking for volunteer opportunities. The Citizen Review Panel. Again, if you see the number at the bottom of the screen, it's 860-489-4131. If you just call the office and say, hey, I saw the United Way show on the other night, and I'd like to volunteer my time on that Citizen Review Panel, or I want to hear more about the annual meeting taking place at Chatterley's on the 30th, or you just want to go in and take a look at our website, which I highly recommend you do, and that will be at www.northwest northwestunitedway.org. And that will show you all the activities that are upcoming. That will show you some of the pictures of the activities that have taken place in the past year. You'll even see some things on Warm the Children. And I hope you'll take an opportunity to look at that bottom of the screen, www.northwestunitedway.org. And again, if you want to volunteer, looking for community service hours, if you're looking for an experience to learn more about the United Way, to learn more about the agencies and programs we fund, and have some volunteer opportunities or some volunteer hours, we have the opportunities for you. And again, the way that you would do that is just call my staff at 860-489-4131. We hope you're going to take advantage of that. And while I say Happy New Year, I'd like to say Happy New Year to the agencies, our partner agencies here in Northwest Connecticut. And first, we have 211. That's the info line. Any person that is listening to this show that knows somebody that needs to find out about fuel assistance, you need to find out about daycare, somebody is being evicted from their home, somebody has witnessed somebody that seems to be very depressed, somebody that is suicidal, somebody that has a drug and alcohol problem that needs some help, 211 is a great resource. Anybody that is having any problems, 211 is the number to call. Just like you would call 911 for a police or fire emergency, 211 is your social service go-to number. And if you're having difficulty, I urge you to go to 211. They will give you prompt and courteous service. And if you're not happy with that 211, because all the United Ways of Connecticut fund 211, you let us know, again, if you're not happy with that service, and we'll talk to the people at 211 and make sure that they address your needs. We also have American Red Cross, and just in the last month or so, I know that there was a fatality in a fire that took place in Torrington, and there was a second house that burned down. And this is the season when a lot of tragedies take place due to not having proper smoke alarms, or you have that Christmas tree that's up or the fireplace that's on, and you haven't disposed of the embers in the correct way. American Red Cross is right there to help those needy families. We have the Boy Scouts here, Connecticut Boy Scouts. We have Camp Warcomen. We have a number of camps. We're in the Tunxus district, I believe, and we'll be having a Boy Scout, a Eagle Scout event. Usually takes place at the Elks sometime this month or next month, and it's a great event to go to. Scouting is just great, and the projects that they do for the community is so important. We have the Northwest Hills district of the Boy Scouts. We have Canaan Child Care Center. We have Catholic Charities, Community Health and Wellness Center. We have Community Mental Health Affiliates. We have Connecticut Legal Services, providing free legal services to people that are having some difficulty with the law. We have Cornwall Child Care Center, Falls Village Daycare Center, Family Strides. I mentioned this before, but Fish has the homeless shelter and the food pantry. Gear Adult Daycare Center up in Canaan. Great job that they do. We have the Girl Scouts of Connecticut. And they have some great scouting programs, and they're changing their program, and they're having co-ed type of activity. They're really pushing STEM, which is really a great thing for the young girls in our community. We fund LARC, Camp Mo, and a recreational socialization program from LARC. McCall Center for Behavioral Health runs some great programs for us, is in the schools, is really talking about positive parenting program, and so much more. Nutmeg big brothers and big sisters, and making sure that the bigs are working with the littles to provide a positive mentoring experience, and getting those kids that don't have a positive role model, male or female, in their life, and making sure that they connect the kid with the adult, and they go and do some ice skating, and they go and see some movies, and go bowling, and doing some activities like that. Pleasant Valley Child Care Center is also very prominent with us. Primetime House does some great programs for people that are having some emotional issues, some mental health issues. It's a place for them to socialize in the Primetime House. They have lunches there. They have camaraderie. They talk about job training. Great program. Ask for a tour of that. That's a great one. Salvation Army in Winsted does a lot of services. They are really stepping up their game in Winsted. Susan B. Anthony Project, and the Susan B. Anthony Project just yesterday at Rotary did a real great program. They talked about trafficking, sex trafficking for young boys and young girls. Sadly, there was close to 200 cases in the state of Connecticut. I think they reported somewhere upward of 60 cases in Northwest Connecticut. It's the reality, and there's some warning signs that you should look at. Your children not having arrived and getting home from school on time. Your child having new clothing or new items that have been purchased for them with no explanation. See Susan B. Anthony and say that there are some warning signs for your children. It's well worth your time to do that, and it's right here locally. USO, visiting nurse provides services, a great program. They just switched over some programming so that they brought additional equipment for people that is necessary, safety chairs, and chairs that for people that are bedridden or chair-ridden for long periods of time develop sores, and we've gotten the purchase of equipment that lessens that chance of happening for those people. Winsted Area Child Care Center runs a great educational program and also a nutritional program. Northwest YMCA runs close to 6 or 7 programs for the United Way of Northwest Connecticut. And all United Way agencies, all United Way partner agencies and community partners are concentrating on 3 areas, and we'll talk more about this as we go forward. Those are education, financial stability, and health. And the United Ways are really trying to move the dial in making a difference in those 3 critical areas. Again, financial stability, health, and education. When you think those 3 things, think the United Way is on the ground floor of making a difference in the community. And so I just wanted to reach out and say happy 2019 to the United Way agencies that are out there providing programs in 34 areas in Northwest Connecticut. And we hope you had a good 2018. We hope your 2019 will be even better. And as we are planning with John Seagrave, we're hoping that 2019 will be a very successful fundraising year for the United Way of Northwest Connecticut. Because I don't think that there's many organizations like the United Way that put that money right back onto the streets and in your community. The United Way is hyper-local, and again, as I said with the Citizen Review panel, it is your neighbors, your friends that are evaluating these most needed programs and making funding decisions. The United Way truly, through its Citizen Review panel, is placing the good housekeeping seal of approval. And that is very good news for the donors that have donated to the United Way, whether it's 2018 campaign, years back, or going forward. And we hope that you will think about making a pledge. If you'd missed out on 2018, let's get your 2019 started right away. And the way to do that is to call our office or go onto our website. And usually the website is the easiest way because there's a big donate sign that's there. And you go to www.northwestunitedway.org. All small letters, all underscore letters, and no spaces. And it's, again, www.northwestunitedway.org. Go to the site, see what we do, see what our partners do, see how we are making a big difference in the areas of financial stability, health, and education. You'll be impressed, and I hope you'll make that donation in 2019. Listen more for the campaign that is going to be run by John Seagrave from Barron Financial and Anita Rosa, the VP of Finance from the Chamber of Commerce. I'm sure they're planning some big things, and we'd like to see you involved. So put that on your calendar, and if you have any questions in regard to some of these programs, I hope you take the opportunity to call us at our office at the United Way, located on 333 Kennedy Drive. Make a telephone call, 860-489-4131, or just stop right in. 333 Kennedy Drive, R101 is the suite number. Walk in the front door, turn to the right, and you'll see the big United Way sign, just like we have in back of us. So that's what we've got going there. Just wanted to go through a couple of other things. One, I don't know if you've ever gone to a Martin Luther King event. They used to have them at Trinity Episcopal Church. That was a great event, a great venue. But one of my personal favorites is going to the Martin Luther King celebration at the AME Zion Church right here in Torrington, and they are located on Brightwood Avenue. It is a breakfast meeting. It is full of fellowship, and they have some great speakers, and they talk about Martin Luther King, his life. When you go to the AME Zion Church, it is truly the African American church, but oh so much more because of the diversity that that church has been working on. But when I think of your traditional African American church, I think of AME Zion, and the AME Zion Church just does a great job. Breakfast is incredible, made by the church ladies. I don't know if you've been there or not, but I would say I think it's on the 21st, January 21st. If you haven't, I'd get up early that morning and I would get there for breakfast. 7:30, 8 o'clock should be a good time to arrive. It is just a lot of fun, and Reverend Kevin is always there. If you haven't heard him speak, he is an inspiration. He's a local guy. He has been ordained, and he just knocks it out of the park. If you want to see somebody that can preach, I suggest you go to the Martin Luther King this January 21st, have breakfast, and watch Reverend Kevin just preach like you haven't seen it done before. Old school in a young person's body. Put it on your calendar to do. I know I'll be there. I know that there is a great turnout with that, and I should put out a shout out to Weibo and his committee of diversity. They really have made this event. It's a mixture of the diversity committee made of all colors and shapes and creeds, and they all come together for fellowship and celebration of this remarkable person's life. And again, I know I'm being a little bit sexist, but when you go to the church ladies and they are cooking, whether it's breakfast or any of the other meals that they provide over the course of the given year, they know how to cook. And maybe that's the reason why I look like I need to be hitting the gym rather than hitting another breakfast joint. But it's worth you going to the AME Zion Church January 21st. Be there. I'll be there, and it's well worth your while. Looking at other things that I wanted to talk about is just had a meeting last night with the Women's Leadership Initiative, and they just had a great girls summit, and they brought over 200 girls to the Litchfield Community Center. And they are a remarkable group of young women. And the chairs of this event that have been doing it for about 5 to 7 years have been Kaylin Ceruto and Kira Paganini Muth. And they just did a remarkable job. And they are looking now to kind of step back. Both have received promotions. Caitlin has already resigned from the committee because of work commitments. Kira is staying with it through this next year, hoping that people will step up, will say, yes, I want to play a leadership role. You ask what the Women's Leadership Initiative does out of the United Way. Well, they promote causes that help promote women's issues in young women. And they have targeted the 8th grade girls transitioning from 8th grade to high school. And they take all the high schools in Litchfield County, in Northwest Connecticut, which is, again, our footprint for the United Way. And they bus them, they give them breakfast, they bring motivational speakers, they bring some of the partner agencies to talk about relationships, alcohol, drugs, health, nutrition, dressing for success. It's a great program. And also stepping aside from that was Gail Olson, who started the program for the United Way. And if anybody would like more information on that, please call us and we'll get you on that committee. Again, that's 860-489-4131. Last thing I want to talk about is we have a VITA program starting in the end of January, and that's volunteer income tax preparation. If you are making less than $65,000 a year and have a simple form, and you want your taxes to be done free, we can provide them at the United Way office. We are expanding to the Salvation Army in Winsted. We are expanding to the Blanche McCarthy Center in Winsted, and we are hoping to have a site at Northwest Community College. VITA income tax, free preparation. If you hear this message, call us at the office and say, how can I sign up for this? 860-489-4131. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the concept that I've talked about before. It's the Alice families. And if you're struggling, like so many families are, and Alice stands for asset limited, income constrained, and employed. And many people are working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. And I'm looking to hear from people that are Alice families. And if you are struggling, can't make your ends meet at the end of the month, and you're feeling like you're an Alice family, you're asset limited, income constrained, and employed, I have a deal for you. Call us up. We'd like to hear about how you're struggling in 2019, how you struggled last year, and how you're working to make ends meet. And if you do call us, I'll give you or send to you one of these Family Wise prescription cards. And when you go to your pharmacist, you can get 75% off that bill. So if you're an Alice family and you want to talk to us about what you're experiencing, call us at 860-489-4131 or stop in at 333 Kennedy Drive and say, how do I get one of these Family Wise discount cards for prescription? And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this program for this evening. We hope you enjoyed this rendition of Working in Your Community, the United Way show. Thanks so much and have a great evening.